Hi everybody, this is JP with Inksoft, and in this video we're going to do a deep dive and we're going to unpack all the benefit and value of using pitch stores as a sales tool. Now, of course, a pitch store is probably the sales tool that you didn't know that you should be using. So my job in this video is to really give you examples of why you need to really embrace these pitch stores and take full advantage of them. So first things first, let's define what the heck a pitch store is. Now, as the name may inform us, a pitch store is an online store that you'll create using Inksoft as a sales tool to present to prospective customers. And there's a lot of upside to doing that, and I'm going to get into that now. So let's transition into some of the benefits of a pitch store, and then I'll kind of break down some of the tips and tricks and some of the other mechanics to think about when using online stores as a sales tool. So first things first, let's say that you have a sales opportunity that's greeted you, and you need to get some product ideas to that customer, right? So we would advocate for using a pitch store as a way to deliver those product ideas to your customer. And using Inksoft, you can quickly create a store. Using Rapid Product Creator, you can quickly build the logoized and decorated products that you think would be valuable to present to that specific customer, right? So in one motion, you build a store, then you have a tool to build the product virtual samples for the store. So really, in terms of efficiency and productivity, if it took you 5 to 10 minutes to create an online pitch store as a way to present to clients, well, that's a major advantage, right? And that's not true for most e-commerce platforms, but because of the very specific feature function inside of Inksoft, that is the case. So let's assume that you create a store and you send a link to that pitch store with a quick personalized message to a prospective customer. And that customer clicks on that link and they view the store. So what is the client reaction? Well, first and foremost, we all know that you only have one opportunity to make a first impression. So we think delivering an online store creates a very favorable first impression because it's super unique, right? Ask yourself the question, how many of your competitors do you think would go through the process of building an online store just in hopes of winning an account or getting ideas, product ideas communicated? Well, the answer is probably very few. So what you're doing immediately when you send an online store as a sales presentation, you're legitimizing yourself. You're really communicating that you are a professional, that you are technology enabled, that you're really, at the end of the day, you're differentiating yourself in a pretty substantial way compared to your competition. So really, again, consider what are the different tools that you have to present logoized, decorated, branded products to a customer to get approval, to gain their business, to get them to commit to you. We've seen PowerPoint presentations, invoices, art approvals, quotes, PDF attachments, all sorts of ways to communicate. And we think that those are poor quality ways to communicate compared to an online store. And let's kind of unpack how that's the case. So number one, an online store is mobile responsive. So if you give a client a link and they share that link with a committee, stakeholders, maybe different people on their team, members of their community or their group, an online store can be shared really easily, right? So I can go to Facebook Messenger, I can share via email, text, Slack. It's a link, and a link travels really well compared to attachments or PowerPoint or whatever it might be. So of course, you want to make your sales presentation easy to travel. With that said, it's accessible. At the same time, an Inksoft online store is 100% mobile responsive. So if my client is sharing with their committee, if I'm at lunch and I get that link and I open it up, well, if I'm on my phone, I'm going to get a perfect sales presentation formatted for my device, whether I be on a phone or a computer. So in terms of accessibility, an online store link is easy to share, but you're also guaranteed to make sure that your sales presentation looks perfect no matter where a decision maker happens to be looking. Now, at the same time, decorated branded products, they're visual in nature, right? So there's a story behind every decorated product, the placement, the type of imprint. There's a lot of nuance here, right? So an online store is a great vehicle to present product because I can zoom in, I can see the different products that might be available, I can see the size chart, I can see product description, all the key information that I might need to resolve before I'm going to commit to you as the provider. So with that said, an online store, highly visual, easily accessible, mobile responsive. The same can't be said of a PDF attachment, of a PowerPoint presentation, right? So with that said, online store is just a perfect sales tool because of the aforementioned. Now, I also want to point out one important consideration here. If you send an online store as a way to showcase different decorated product that you think would be super valuable for your clients' marketing needs, right, for their goals, well, you've just set yourself up to really tell the story that you offer online stores as a freemium. And that online store is technology that's going to make their life easy. They don't have to worry about inventory or distribution or collecting money, all of the other challenges that maybe a typical fulfillment program would involve, right? So really, using an online store tees you up and sets you up to complete the narrative. By the way, Mr. Client, we offer free online stores, and here's what that means for you in terms of value and upside. So again, you're building even more differentiation from you compared to other providers in the area. So you can shift the conversation increasingly away from price and cost and move more in towards a service and a value and a pleasant, simple ordering experience, which is important to a lot of folks, right? Okay, so let me give you some other nuance here as it relates to tips and tricks when using pitch stores as a sales tool. So first and foremost, since we're on this screen now, notice the add to cart button is grayed out. It's not available. So first things first, when you're building an online store, a pitch store using Inksoft, and you go to store admin and go to store settings, notice there is an e-commerce toggle where you can turn on or you can disable e-commerce altogether. So when you're creating a pitch store, you're generally going to want to disable e-commerce, which means when I send that link to my customer, I don't have to worry about them ordering samples. And maybe I don't want to be in a position where I have to figure out how to fulfill custom one-offs just to fulfill samples and be in this awkward position, right? So that said, one of the best practices here is you build a store, create your virtual product samples for the store, and then disable e-commerce and then present. Now here's the real upside, right? In terms of efficiency and productivity, when your client comes back and they want to move forward with you, you've been selected as the provider, well, you can now just enable the e-commerce settings and there's no extra labor or work to be done. So that's your ability to enable and disable e-commerce. Other considerations here that you want to be super mindful about is think about, when you're organizing the front end of the store, the products, and the presentation, here's a few things I want to suggest. Number one, at the very top, you'll see the Inksoft promo bar. So that's a feature in Inksoft that allows you to display a promotional message at the very top of the store, but it's also sticky. So as I scroll, that message stays constant at the very top. So this is a great way to maybe do a specialized call to action or call out. Maybe your customer is Jesse Johnson. You want to say, hey, we've organized these special product ideas specifically for Jesse Johnson, right? So it's a great way to make it meaningful, make it personalized. Now, speaking of making things personalized, notice here I embedded a YouTube video in this online store. So using the custom content component in Inksoft, you can put a headline, maybe some key messaging. Maybe you want to put a short message to your customer, like maybe a summary or synopsis. Hey, Jesse, we're really excited about serving your needs. We really understand what you're trying to achieve. See the products below. We think this would be our professional recommendation in terms of the products that would align with your goals and help you maximize your budget. So really, you can use custom content as a way to communicate with text, or if you want to go turbo, leverage the power of personalized video and embed a personalized video as a way to greet your client. So in the post-COVID economy, Zoom meetings, virtual meetings are going to be the king, right? So less face-to-face meetings, less personalized meetings. So think about using the power of a personalized video to address your prospective customer. Take 30, 45 seconds to quickly give your elevator presentation, explain your business and the value you bring, and then maybe do a quick summary on, hey, we really understand your needs, your marketing objectives, we understand your budget. Our team got to work with creating some outstanding branded merchandise that we think would totally line up to your goals, and you can see those presented below. So use this video to quickly establish yourself as the expert, communicate at a high level, and then indicate, hey, scroll below to see the products that we've recommended for your campaign, for your needs. And this is where you can now present the different branded products that you've organized. So of course, here's the next tip I want to share with you is organize with purpose and with intent. So what that means is Let's say that you've come to understand that the Angular organization, they have 4 sort of clusters of needs. Staff, maybe gifts for returning attendees. Maybe they have sponsors that they want to recognize. Maybe they have new registrations, whatever it might be. Come to understand, who are we branding these products for? Who are the different actors and personas here, right? So using Inksoft, you can organize the products logically. And that's the point I want to make with organize with purpose. So in this case, you can see Angular staff. Each Angular staff member shall receive 1 of each. Raglan baseball, jerseys are super popular and loved by everybody. And hey, who doesn't love a super comfortable hoodie? These are our favorite and best products within each of those categories. We think your team members would love them. So think about not only presenting products, but telling a story. Why did you choose this product? How is that connected to their goals and their needs? So you can communicate that again in sort of a sales pitch format, right? So a title and subtext. So here you can see I've organized now registered attendee gift ideas, returning attendee gift ideas, and sponsor gift ideas. So again, think about telling a story. Also think about carefully curating. This is a case where you want to really carefully choose products that have purpose and intent. Don't overwhelm clients with too many product options and ideas. You should be able to justify each of these products and have a real meaningful reason why you're suggesting them. How does it relate to their goals, to their objectives? If you can't make that strong case for a product, well, it probably doesn't belong in your pitch store. Okay, the last thing I want to point out here is call to action. And so the very bottom of the pitch store, maybe the last thing that your client will see, we talked about establishing a favorable first impression by sending an online store as just my pitch, my sales presentation piece, right? So we created a positive first impression. Well, how do I create a positive final and lasting impression? And that's going to be your call to action. So of course, using the call to action component inside of the Inksoft online store framework, I'm going to position a final call to action at the very bottom of the website. And in this case, I can put, again, a final call to action, a final message that I want my client to consider as sort of a parting thought. So I can use a strong title here. I can use a maybe 1 to 3 sentences to really give that final compelling rationale for why choose us as your partner. You can even link, maybe there's an external resource like see success stories or check out another online store that we're running for a company just like you. So you can use links to draw even more context and nuance as part of your call to action. So one final thing I want to mention here, in Inksoft, there's really 2 sales tools that are useful when you're in a position where you need to organize product ideas that you need to present to decision makers and prospective clients. You can use an Inksoft proposal or you can use an Inksoft store. So how do you make the decision of which sales tool to use? Because they both have strengths and benefits. So really the rationale is really simple. When you're faced with a sales opportunity or you're trying to win a new sales opportunity, think about when we need to fulfill that sales opportunity, is an online store going to be relevant? And if the answer is yes, you ought to be choosing an online store as your sales presentation piece. Because again, you're setting up the narrative and you can set yourself up to talk about, hey, by the way, when we move forward, here's how we're going to make your life easy with this technology. So again, when looking at a sales opportunity, look at the merits and the way you're going to transact and actually fulfill and handle orders. And if the answer is, hey, an online store is perfect to serve the needs of this sales opportunity, use a pitch store. If the answer, hey, a store is not relevant, then you should be using an Inksoft proposal. Well, my hope is that you learned a few things that you can use in your sales presentation efforts as a way to win new business and again, differentiate, legitimize your business, stand out as a real professional, as a technology-enabled professional. So hopefully you can take some of this away and put it into your practice and get some real value and some upside. Now, of course, and as always, if you have questions, if you need help, always reach out to the Inksoft team. Just visit inksoft.com and call our toll-free number, or you can simply email support@inksoft.com. You can chat, call, whatever your preference might be. Well, thanks for tuning in. And again, I hope this provided some insights and some value that you'll be able to use in your sales practices.